Hello, everyone. Oh, we are so happy to be here with you on our monthly visit, but a meditation a day here on EWN. We've got Master Spiritual Teacher GP Walsh, and I'm hosting Lisa Berry. I'm not student today. Well, I am always just hosting.
Your
And
master spiritual student.
yes. Oh, okay. New title, everyone. That was fun. There you go. Well, as we said, we so enjoy coming to do these once a month because this is when GP gets to kick me off screen and just do a guided meditation with you. But always before, I love having a theme. And GP said something this past week, and it just grabbed hold of me. And I thought, oh, I think people would really love to hear this and know deeper and more about it. So I'm going to share what I grabbed as a quote from him. And we'll just mini discuss it, and then we'll let GP take it away into guided meditation. And the quote was, "It is not the bliss that leads us to deeper growth. It is the discomfort." And GP, a lot of people are looking for that thing that brings them bliss, and then they'll not have the discomfort or that trip, that aha, that magical thing. But when you say it's the discomfort that leads us to growth, I mean, people get uncomfortable. They get into their feelings and they're like, no, I don't want to feel that. That's uncomfortable. And no, let me go here because that's comfortable. So can you just chat with us about that?
Yeah, it's not the most pleasant thing people want to hear, because of course we live in the West at least in a culture that is dead set against any kind of discomfort. It avoids it like the plague, and it's become so ingrained in the culture and institutionalized. It's in our politics. It's in our economics. The entire way we run all of the societies are the West is this desire to completely escape from all discomfort and try to establish this utopia of perfect safety, right? Which simply doesn't exist, right? And it's not possible to do. And so in order to do that, we have to vilify our feelings. We have to turn our feelings into enemies. There's something that need to be avoided, right? Something need to be gotten rid of, or you can chant Om and transcend them, right? But the underlying motive is always the same. The feelings are bad. I got to get rid of them, right? And so every time an uncomfortable feeling comes up, we've been so conditioned that we believe it to be something negative, something bad. I've done something wrong. God is punishing me. Right? If it shows up as a feeling, and of course, if it shows up as a circumstance, well, now it's oh my God, I'm terrible. Sorry, I'm not worthy, and on that little dance goes, because the underlying assumption is that there's something wrong with them, and that puts you into a conflict with yourself. Right? And this is reinforced in the religion. This is the whole idea behind original sin, that you must sacrifice and avoid your own nature, right? So all human nature is fallen. It's bad, and it's so bad you can't even redeem yourself. Right? I mean, talk about the perfect double bind. I mean, it's just absolutely perfect. Works great for empires. But that's not the actual nature of feeling. See, this is the discovery. If you're willing to take a little bit of time and be present with them, just not immediately run away, right? Take a moment and just be with that discomfort for a while to see what happens. Just check it out. Say, is this really as bad as I think it is? Or is my thinking causing more suffering than the feeling itself? And inevitably, when anybody does that, they discover that their idea about it was creating the suffering and not the feeling itself. And that you cannot be a human being and have a full, rich human life without feeling the full range of feelings that are part of human life. And that means intense bliss, and deep grief. You cannot have one without the other. And when you try to, is when you just make a horrible mess of things. You inevitably cut yourself off from both.
I
If
just
you
heard the
avoid
word
grief,
denial. Yeah, you're denying
yeah,
yourself.
you are denying your own nature, and of course that's the whole point of it. That's the whole philosophical and religious view behind it, is that you must deny your own nature. It is sinful. And even though a lot a lot of the culture has outgrown to a certain degree that idea, it's still very active in our nervous system. I mean, it's been around for 2,000 years, and it's gotten increasingly virulent and worse. But it's still affected in everything, even where you look at it purely from the point of view of psychology. There's always somebody there that has to be fixed.
Yeah.
Right. And the idea that that you don't need to be fixed, right? And that self-acceptance will do way more for you than all the self-help techniques in the world, right? But not self-acceptance so that I can get rid of the bad feelings.
That's tricky. That's the
It's
trick.
tricky. It's tricky because, I mean, this is the way our minds work. They get so indoctrinated into that position that they begin to think, oh, I'm going to just be with my feelings. That'll get rid of them. and you believe me, your nervous system can smell that. You can see it coming a mile away and just kind of like blow you off like you're nothing.
And I think that's where I would love, if that might be where we go today, the guided meditation. I don't know, but how do we even, okay, so think, okay, so I have to just don't run away right away. I'm going to be with them for a minute, but we can have so much trauma and fear to even do that. So how do we get it go? How do we just at least start it? I don't know, maybe that might be in our thing, but
well, probably the best way to start it is to have somebody guide you there, right?
Okay.
Right. That can point things out along the way, right? You know, when I was in Germany, I had help, right? I don't speak German, and most people there don't speak English, right? Many did, right? But most not. So it was all grunts and pointing, right? Unless I had somebody helping me, okay, this is what you do, then this is how you do this, how you get on a train, so you get on the bus, and the like. So having somebody guide you into this space is, I think it's absolutely critical. We did a whole show on why the teacher is a necessity, right? Because there is so much fear there, and there is so much overhead, and we have been conditioned for so long that if we do that, it's going to be bad, right? That it's very hard to do it on your own. I mean, I've developed many different courses, Yoga of Allowing, Just Allow, which is a 5-volume set. And that's all it does, is practice being with yourself. Because we've been trained into this position of resistance to it, and avoidance, which is just another word for resistance, right? It's just a different way of going about it. But underlying is this. It's not just philosophical. It's not just theoretical. It's not just in our heads. They're bad. We're literally acting it out every moment of every day. And so to just make that decision, to try it once or twice, you probably won't get great results, but because the training is so deep. But that's why I had to design courses to literally retrain you, right, in order to be able to be present with it. And you have to be there long enough for the discovery to be made. My God, there's nothing wrong here. I've been duped.
You're reminding me of when you, back on the cereal boxes when we were little, maybe they do this now. There's things hidden in the picture. Like there's a I don't even know, like a parrot in the tree, but then there's maybe a snake wrapped around. There's a squirrel bump, but they're all kind of, but you don't see them right away. You really have to look, and you have to look again and you go, oh, I see that now. So there's this, you have to keep coming back to
Yes.
look. Yeah. Keep coming back to look.
I use the analogy of riding a bike. Right?
Yes.
And that's why I call it the yoga of allowing, It's an internal posture. It's an internal asana where you're going to get into this place and you're going to be very shaky. There's going to be this impulse to run away, to be distracted, to do whatever, which is built into the nervous system as automatic behavior now. It's not even a choice on your part, right? And there's that impulse, and then there's the actual feeling itself, right? And that's the place you stand, right? It's like, you try to do any one of the yoga poses. When you first do it, you fall over,
You
right?
look
You
really
can't
funny.
hold it. You look totally weird. You finally get something right, and you look, and everything else is drooping, right? Or the teacher goes, "Okay, right, lift your shoulders up," or pulls them down. Right. It takes a while to get it to actually get rooted in that position to the point where it becomes, whenever you go into the posture, boom, you're right there, right?
Yes.
It just automatically happens. The whole body begins to remember it, right? Because the training of resistance is in the body, right? And so you have to retrain the body to be willing to be present with stuff that has been taught, trained from the get-go to not be willing to be present with. And the good news is that you discover early on that there's really nothing there you have to run away from. And that's the message the body gets. And the moment it gets that message, it drops defenses because it doesn't need them anymore. That's how intelligent it is. It's totally adaptive. If the environment changes, it changes. I mean, period. You don't have to do anything with it.
The easiest
There's no
thing.
period of convalescence, right?
Oh,
You're simply learning how to be present with whatever you happen to be feeling. And you'll see that's an element, no matter what the subject is, that is an element in every single meditation I do.
yes, it is. Speaking of which, I was gonna, as we go into it, I know this sounds like an obvious statement, but this is a shorter version, like this is a short one, but you can just rewind it after this and do it over and over. Cause as we said, you're gonna have to keep looking and coming back and have a poke around. But you can use this one repeatedly or go to other ones, but just keep trying it. Just keep staying with it and just, yeah, revisit it. But we'll enjoy this one right now. Thank you, everybody.
Okay. All right. So we're going to do this. So Lisa can sit in meditation as well. So sit comfortably. If you have a particular meditation posture that you use, that's fine. You can use that. If you don't, that's okay too. I do recommend that people don't lay down unless you're a very experienced meditator, because there is a tendency to go to sleep. But the strict posture isn't absolutely necessary, because it's all about attention and acceptance, and not whether your posture is perfect or not, or whether your legs are aching or not. So with your eyes closed, just take a couple of deep breaths. And just take a moment to feel breathing happening. Notice the belly going in and out. And if it's not going in and out, then you're breathing from your chest, which is going to restrict how much air you can get. So see if you can move it down and notice your diaphragm, which is right at the base of your rib cage, moving in and out like a bellows. Because that's actually what moves the air. The lungs simply absorb it and transfer it to the blood. It's this little bellows you have down in your tummy that actually brings the air in and pushes it out. And notice what happens. The effect that this has is your attention is just very gently resting there. Notice the way that whole process feels. Make the breaths deep and slow, consciously intending them to slow down. This may take a moment if before you've had a full day before listening to us, because this is all over the world. And you may have even had some agitation or some conflict or something. It's okay. Right? That energy will be there running through the system because it had your attention. And just be patient and persist. Consciously bringing the breath in and then letting it go out again, just kind of relaxing it out. But all originating from there, down in your belly, the diaphragm. And notice that it does have a calming effect. Partially because the body's getting more oxygen, but also because your attention is engaged with the body and its functioning. It's very simple, right? Very simple. Now just let your gaze, your inner eye, just kind of wander around your body, just noticing what it feels like. It doesn't have to be in any particular order. Just notice what your fingers feel like, or your legs, or your chest, or your chin. You notice some parts of your body have some tension in them. Just notice it. And as we're doing this, you may be focusing your attention on, like, your hand, just exploring it. Your mind will want to chime in. It'll want to say hand, the word hand, show you a picture of the hand, and then maybe even go off about your hands. Right? Your nails aren't very healthy looking, or they're getting wrinkled, or I've got a cut. Just notice that the mind wants to do that. That's its function. But keep your attention on the feeling. If you've got any kind of pain or tension in your hands, just notice them. And also notice that even if there isn't any tension there, that there's definitely an energy. It's like a tingling in your hand. It's like it's vibrating, which it is. And any other part of your body that you want to just take a look at for a moment and just feel it. And you notice every body part has a very unique individual feeling to it. You don't actually need a picture of it or a word, do you? In fact, the picture and the word came later. And this was always the first experience, just that feeling of the body. And anytime your mind wants to jump in and say something, just notice it. And do your best to bring your attention back to the actual kinesthetic sense, this feeling of having a body. Now, if there is some kind of discomfort in the body, wherever it might be, it can be a pain, or it can just be a tension or a constriction. Just give it attention. The mind will want to analyze it. The mind will say it is a problem. But put even that aside. Maybe it's not. Maybe this is just what it feels like. And every part of your body is simply going to feel differently at different times. It's a living thing. It's not a machine per se. It is in constant dialogue with the environment. It's a dynamic flow of energy. So it doesn't always have to feel the same way, and it won't. So we can just kind of let go of any expectation that it should and just remain present with it. Just open up your inner eye and see if you can feel the whole body all at once. Just kind of, it's like a relaxing of that inner eye. The way you would just kind of defocus your eyes when you want to take in the peripheral vision. Same thing inside. You kind of defocus the look and just see if you can take in just this overall presence. And just feeling that presence without referring to any idea or concept, any analysis or any kind of preconceived idea, without referring to your mind, just in the pure, direct experience of feeling. Is there anything wrong here? Again, your mind may want to compare it to something else. It may have preferences about better feelings, but if you just leave that out of the mix for a moment, just being 100% present with what is here right now, no comparison, no past or future, just now. Is there anything wrong? Is there anything missing? Notice something wrong, something missing are just thoughts that assume things should be different than they are. If you leave those aside, what's wrong? So now I want you to just say thank you. Thank you to your body. Give it a little love. It's been tirelessly functioning perfectly without complaint for a very long time. 99% of what it does to sustain your life you're not even aware of. And just say thank you. And thank yourself, too, for being willing to go here. Because this is all there is to it. The whole process of going beyond our preconceived notions and our stresses and our worries and our doubts. You just did it. And notice how natural and effortless it actually is. So now, keeping that feeling there, just a pure direct experience of your body without judgment, see if you can keep that as you just gradually open your eyes. And with your attention focused on those feelings, look around the room you're in. And just see if things don't look different. And I'll bring our lovely Lisa back with us. And hold on.
Do you know what?
Muted. Yeah.
That was so neat about the looking around, because at first I thought I was going to expect something, but then I immediately realized, without letting my mind get in the way, that I was just allowing things to be. There was no discomfort. Like there's things in my room that were probably going, you got to get that done, or you got to organize. Like there's my mind chatter, the discomfort. But when we just came out of that meditation, I was just looking at it like, well, there you are. Like
there you are.
That pile of junk is just there, and it's okay.
and it's okay, right? And at some point, it won't be there anymore.
And that will be okay.
That'll be okay too. We don't need to make a mission out of it.
Right. Yes. I kind of got that discomfort is a label that we've put on things.
Yeah.
It almost isn't real.
It's the mind says it's uncomfortable, I don't want it, and runs away from it. And as long as that thought is there, the feeling will always be run away from. And when you just put that aside and feel the feeling directly, you go, is it actually uncomfortable without the label? And you go, well, it has a certain energy about it, definitely, right? And some things are pleasurable and some things aren't. Sometimes the body's its natural functioning is, produces pain when it needs pain, right? And the idea of pain is to get away from what's causing the pain, right? That's a direct experience. But the mind psychologically labels things that aren't really that, right? And then the body reacts as if it were an actual pain, and the same mechanism kicks in. This is the dance between the body and mind that we have to reconcile the two. So the mind isn't creating imaginary discomfort. It's not that there aren't some things that are uncomfortable, that aren't actual information, right? But most of it isn't. Most of it's just conditioning and training and beliefs and assumptions, and it's not really uncomfortable. And you're not going to know that until you sit with the feeling itself and explore it. And when you do that, two things will happen. One, you'll find it isn't uncomfortable, right? It's just a sensation. Or you'll find that it's got a very specific purpose to be there. And when you're no longer fighting it, it fulfills the purpose and dissolves.
Right.
That literally running away from it keeps it there.
Yes. Yes. Just this morning, and I'm sure you said it because I had to share with her. I have stickies everywhere, all over my desk with little things that GP says because they're so exciting. But this morning, the one that I grabbed onto was feelings are information. And you just said that actually, how we're getting information from our feelings, but if we don't listen to our feelings, if we don't go in with that inner eye and the inner posture, and just be there long enough to get the information that they're sharing with us, then we're just,
If we, yes, if we assume we know what they're going to say, we don't listen. Simple as that. And that's what we do. We assume, oh, I know what that feeling is, and off you go, right? So you don't actually listen to it, right? And if it persists, it becomes annoying. It becomes uncomfortable, because if it's really got something to say, it's not going away. That's its job, right? And so, it can be like the good friend. You say, no, not now. No, really now. We need to talk now. I don't have time to talk now. Go away, kid. You're bothering me.
yes. Oh, that's so brilliant. I just, wow. So many happy thoughts are going through my mind right now. I can't wait to go allow everything, just like now I'm excited to allow. But I just wanted to say hello to some people. Some people are new to us, and we're just happy that everybody's here. And there was a question, something earlier from Susan, some things that can scare you, a vision, stay calm.
Well,
I want to
stay calm calm is a result. It's not something you do. It's the result of staying present. And what present means is I am with this feeling without judgment, without running away from it, right? I'm just staying present with it, like you'd stay present with a friend, right? And your friend may be having a really hard time, and you may not be able to do anything about it, but you're there with them. You go, yeah, you're really a bummer today. Call me when you're happy. I don't want to be with you. That's what we do. That's
You're in a bad mood.
That's what you do. You're in a bad mood. Call me when you're in a good mood. I don't want to be with anybody who's in negative energy. Yeah, thanks a lot. Thanks for that. Thanks for the help, pal. But that's what it means to be present. Notice that when I just brought you into the body and you're just staying present with the feelings, you got calmer. That was the consequence. So when people say stay calm, it's how? Well, that's how you stay present, right? Because the absence of the calm is the body attempting, the way we've been trained, attempting to engage the reactive pattern. Right? That's where the calm's gone. When the body does that, we feel that as the energy. It's of stress and action. I got to do something. And it's sometimes, if there's really something has to be done, it's obvious. And actually 90% of the time, if there's something done, the body does it automatically. You don't have anything to say about it. I tell the story of when I was still living in Florida, and I walked out on Collins Avenue, and I'm completely absorbed in my mind, right? And I literally walk into the street, and I find myself falling back on the sidewalk, and I suddenly realize I had just stepped in front of a bus.
Oh my gosh.
Now, I realized it as I was falling backwards onto the sidewalk. Now, if that had been left to me to make the choice, you and I would not be having this conversation.
That'd be awful.
My body took over and said, "You dumbass. I'm not dying for you."
It's not just
because it sees everything, right?
Yeah.
So when we get to that, what happens is that we get programmed to react to things in a certain way, and that reaction wants to kick in, and the reaction is not usually to what the danger actually is. It's to an imagined potential danger that could be. So it's purely imaginary. So there's nothing you can do about it. And that's where that intense stress and anxiety comes from, right? And so that energy you're feeling is the system trying to fix the problem, right? Now, when you bring consciousness to it, you bring presence to it. When you recognize that this is what it is, that there really isn't anything here that I have to react to, you simply remain present with the feeling. You feel that absence of calm, which is the body trying to get into action, but it can't. I mean, how do you fight an imaginary foe, right? And then staying present with it, the calmness begins to come, right? Because there's another element here. There's consciousness is here now. And consciousness, presence, awareness, they're all the same. They're all referring to that. The fact that the focus of your energy is here and it's not being pushed off somewhere else. And that's what brings the calm.
I'm imagining when somebody were to say, just calm down, like when somebody says it to you, or when you say to somebody, calm down, let's think about this. And really now I'm switching the word to, okay, let's be present now. Because what we're doing when we're saying when we're saying or being told to calm down, it's get your head out of the future and the worries and the anxiety and all that. Just back it up, come on back and be present. And so I actually will, because I don't know that anybody likes to hear it, but when somebody says, just relax, relax, that's like nobody wants to hear that because
nobody wants to hear that.
They literally cannot do it. Now I understand why you couldn't do it, because you need to be present so that relaxation and calmness occur.
Yes, you can't do it.
You can't do it. Yeah. I can't. You're like, I can't relax. You're right. You cannot.
No, you're right. You cannot. Yeah, and you see, and what would happen if you said to that person, "Yeah, boy, you really can't relax right now. It's okay. Let's be tense together." What would happen? It's like, oh, right. There's no more fight, right? I mean, it seems as if I'm actually agreeing with whatever the problem is, but in fact, I'm creating a different environment. I'm making it okay to have the problem. Rather than the problem is, there's all sorts of pejoratives about this problem. I got this problem. I've got this embarrassment. I shouldn't have it, right? Oh, on and on it goes.
You know what? That's the t-shirt. It's okay to have a problem. And so
it's okay to have a problem. Yes.
And I want to take in Rosalind's share here, and then I know that this is our short one, so we have to wrap it up. But Rosalind, I'm so glad, and Jennifer's here. Everybody's wonderful here. This goes back, so Rosalind's sharing, this goes back to childhood when I made a decision to fit my mother's need for me to not have feelings and listen to them, accept them, and myself. Thank you both. Yes. Oh, so beautiful.
That's exactly where it starts. Our feelings become dangerous, and the decision you made to fit your to stuff your feelings in order to serve your mother wasn't a decision you made. Your body detected it very early on that it was dangerous to express feelings, and so it just started to stuff them, and it became such a very powerful and such an efficient mechanism that it continues to do it to this. Until consciousness comes on the scene, which is exactly what we did. And there was one person who said, "Could you please help me to become enlightened?" Well, yes. What does that mean to you? Right. What I think you really want is to be happy, because if I'm enlightened and not happy, what good is it? Right. Enlightenment is what if you were there in the beginning and you followed in this meditation, where you were just present with what was happening without an agenda, that is the enlightened state. Now, it can go much deeper, because it will eventually expunge all of the trauma and all of the sense of identity that got created out of the trauma. And that's what's referred to as the Enlightenment people talk about, and the total dissolution of the ego, Buddhahood, and that sort of thing. But don't turn enlightenment into yet another way out of what you're feeling, because that's what happens. When we encounter that idea, it's inevitable that the mind's going to interpret enlightenment as the ultimate panacea. Oh, okay. So now you become eagerly on the search for enlightenment. And I've just seen so many people do so much damage to themselves, restrict their lives, become narrow, and the like. That's not the path I teach, right? But it is a path that opens you up to the emerging of the potential for the real enlightenment, which is the discovery of who you really are, when all the ideas about who you think you are have fallen away, like somebody who has to stuff their feelings, or somebody who isn't enough, or somebody who never gets anything done. Those are all just ideas we hold about ourselves, and we hold on to so tight we don't see ourselves. So the path to enlightenment is simply the uncovering of everything that is not you. And the only way to do that is exactly the exercise I showed you in the beginning.
And
It's the only way you can do it. It is only this love that can do it.
And if I may suggest a tool, and it's free, I'm going to say, because it says Facebook user there. There's a book GP has read, Angels in the Basement. It's perfect for everyone to start with, to go, and it's free. You can just go to gpwalsh.com, and right there on the front page, you click download to get Angels in the Basement. That is a short enough read, but a very deep read that will assist you doing this. And you could even just watch these over and over. And we have to wrap it up, but because the next people are going to come on, we don't want to be in their way. But anyways, so please, gpwalsh.com, super easy, get Angels in the Basement. And thank you everybody so much for being here with us today on EWN, and for EWN hosting us. A meditation a day is, as we know, when we do this together, it amplifies it. And a tiny invitation, if you'd like to tune in tomorrow at GP Walsh's YouTube channel or Facebook group, we're going to be doing Om School Live, another show tomorrow. That's an hour at 12 o'clock till 1 Eastern time.
Yeah. You can answer more questions there.
Yeah, we can do questions there. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, EWN. And we'll see you guys tomorrow or soon. Okay.
All righty, everybody.
Bye-bye, everyone.